Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this February the 6th, 2023, a Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Anyway, listen, what's going on out there? There's been a big earthquake in Turkey. And there's a Ceyhan oil terminal that is, I looked it up, and it's like about somewhere in the vicinity of about, I think in 2020 they produced something like 145 million barrels. Or was it 300 million? Anyway, it works out to probably close to 1 million barrels a day comes out of this facility. And they're offline right now. So it's not going to be put into the oil supply. Because of a powerful earthquake. It says a powerful earthquake, a 7.8 magnitude on the Richter scale, hit Turkey and Syria in the early hours. It killed hundreds of people, injured thousands more. They're estimating at least 600 people killed in the quake. Now, the thing about these earthquakes is, when they give you a first estimate of how many people are dead, sometimes you can multiply that by a factor of 10. Because as they find people in the rubble and stuff, as days and weeks and stuff goes by, and also they account for people that are missing. Anyway, so a big earthquake has hit Turkey, and it's halted operations at the Ceyhan oil terminal after this huge quake. So this could affect oil prices and oil availability to a somewhat. I'm just not exactly sure how much just yet. Now, here's an article we got to take a look at right here. When they tell you not to worry about something, especially the mainstream media, it's what you should focus your attention on and worry about. So the basics of this article here is that the dollar's going to be around forever. That's basically what it tells. Don't worry. The dollar's too big. It'll never disappear in the history of the world. It's going to be here forever. It's don't worry about it. When they're telling you not to worry, that's when you really should be worrying. I'm just going to tell you that, honestly. And the thing is they kind of give themselves away in this article a little bit. Because if you wait toward the end, you'll find out what they're telling you to do. At one end, they're telling you, don't worry. Stay in dollars, but on the other side, they're telling you something to do here. So let's take a look at this. It says, Saudi Arabia's finance minister, Mohammed al-Jadaan, stunned reporters in Davos when he expressed that the oil-rich nation was opening up trading in currencies besides the U.S. dollar for the first time in 48 years. He says there's no issue with discussing how we settle our trade arrangements, whether in the U.S. dollar or euro or the Saudi rial, al-Jadaan says. His comments are the latest and that signal powerful nations across the world are plotting to de-dollarize the global economy. So then they go on later, to tell you, hold on to your money, it says. You might want to rethink buying a new automobile, refrigerator, or whatever. That's because they're causing a liquidity crisis. It's a manufactured liquidity crisis in the dollar. And this is trying to preserve the dollar because all of this is happening. They got to do something or the dollar will go down the toilet. And they're trying to do what they can do, but all they're doing is destroying our economy. It says the dollar's dominance in global trade and capital flows date back to at least 80 years, and then they tell you all the reasons why the dollar is a world reserve currency and why it's so powerful and everything. It says replacing the dollar would be hard. See, they're trying to convince you that the dollar's great stuff. It says the U.S. dollar's dominance is underappreciated. As of late 2022, the greenback accounts for 59.79% of total foreign reserves. Yeah, but aren't they selling all their reserves off as fast as they can? Is China selling their reserves? Isn't Japan selling their reserves? Just because they give you a percentage point here, 59.7%, of global reserves, but the reserves can be sold overnight. So they're making it seem like in the last, but But toward the end here, this is where it really gets me, toward the end of this. Uh, they also degrade the other currencies. They say how that they got a lot of catching up to do to catch up with the dollar. Uh, it says China's growth has slowed down. It goes on to list Russia as being only the 11th largest economy, and so on. And then they go to list India. It says India is growing rapidly, but it would need to grow 628% to match the U.S. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not looking to India to be the. I'm looking at a basket currencies because these countries are working together. I'll tell you what's going through my mind. I think the BRICS are going to make themselves a basket currency. What's a basket currency, you ask? It's a currency that is like put together from a whole bunch of different currencies. It's a new currency. It's put together from a whole bunch of different currencies to make a new currency. And it's a basket of other currencies. Like they put together like take the dollar index for instance. It's a basket of currencies. It's the United States dollar, the Swiss franc, the Canadian dollar, the Great British pound, the Japanese yen, and so on. Well, the BRICS are going to do the same thing. But you know what the danger is? The danger is the BRICS could, and they got enough gold, could back their currency with gold for the first time in ages. That would absolutely destroy the Western currencies. And here they go on to kind of comfort you a little bit more, saying the West will still be okay. The United States will still be okay. The final reason America shouldn't be worried about the dollar's losing influence is, in the worst case scenario, it isn't so bad. Some analysts believe that the future could be more multilateral. The U.S. may lose influence in some segments of the global economy, but not lose dominance everywhere. For instance, the Chinese yuan could become more important for trade and cross-border payments, but the dollar would still remain the preferred reserve currency for central banks in developed nations. I don't know. Whenever they tell you not to worry, that's when I believe you should be worried. And what do they tell you at the end of this article? They give you a solution. It says if you're still worried about the dollar, right? It says gold in an IRA is a type of individual retirement account that allows you to invest in gold and other precious metals in physical forms like coins. So this is what really gets me. Is they're finally giving you a solution. They're telling you out of one side, don't be worried, but shh, you better invest in gold now while you get the chance. And this is the mainstream telling you this. When the mainstream pundits start to say, hey, you know what? Maybe you should get yourself a little bit of gold. Maybe you should get yourself a little bit of silver. That's when you should be, you shouldn't be walking. You should be running in and paying the premiums probably, because that means that it's getting ready, the door's getting ready to close when you hear all this. Anyway, let's get in there and take a look at the markets today. Silver price today. Silver price is down 8 cents on the day so far, 22.23. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is getting to be the point of ridiculous. But it's got everything to do with what they're doing right now in this this squeeze that they're putting on. It's on all of us, but it's also on the dollar. And why they're squeezing the dollar supply is because they're frightened. They're frightened of exactly that article I just read. The BRICS nations are going to make the dollar valueless, and they've printed too many dollars, and now they're trying to cut back. They're trying to, and this squeeze could get an awful lot tighter. It could cause a tremendous crash in the system. They're pulling $95 billion a month. The same liquidity they put in to build this system, now they're pulling it out. $95 billion a month they're pulling out. But that adds up month after month after month after month, taking it off of the Fed's balance sheet. and raising interest rates so people aren't borrowing money. See, this is the big money maker. The biggest one of all is bank lending. When they make a loan, they create money through fractional reserve banking. When interest rates get high, people don't take loans out. People start cutting back. This leads to a spiral. This something that can spiral out of control and can actually lead towards something called deflation. They will not allow deflation because they know it'll blow up the system. But they might get deflation, and it could come very, very suddenly with a market crash. And what'll they do? They will print till the cows come home. They'll change direction then. But we're going to have to weather through this horrible thing of them tightening right now, which doesn't feel good because there's a drying up of liquidity in the system. Meanwhile, we got inflation tearing through the system at the same time. So this is yielding something called stagflation, where there's got a stagnant economy, you got an economy that's really going nowhere. Jobs and wages are not keeping up with the price of inflation, and yet you're having to pay for more for everything. And this is making hardship on the people out there, and the people are getting to the point where now it's starting to really pinch. But the Fed's continuing what they're doing because they're absolutely desperate at this point. Okay, so let's take a look at gold. Gold today is down $1.80 at 1866. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency, and what we're looking at is Bitcoin at 22,862 and Ethereum at 1632. Taking a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 33,817. It's down 108 points on the day so far. And taking a look at the S&P 500 is at 4113. It's down 22.88 so far today. Now let's take a look at oil. 73.47. It's up 8 cents. Considering, I suppose they must be on top of it. They said that port that's closed in Turkey, they said that the oil lines themselves are not damaged. Like the big pipelines that lead into the port. So probably the reason why oil's not shooting up right now is because they probably plan on getting that open pretty soon again, I imagine. And they're just kind of waiting it out, I think. I think that's what's going on. Anyway, going over to bonds and rates, we're taking a look at the U.S. 10-year is up 8.2 basis points at 3.61. And the U.S. 30-year is up 2.9 basis points at 3.65. And looking at the U.S. dollar index today, where's my dollar index? There we go. The dollar's going up today. We should stay on. It's at 103.64, and it's rising today, the dollar. So it's gaining strength. Thank you guys for listening, and like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.